Shalom. I'm Rabbi Michael Panitz of Temple Israel of Norfolk, Virginia, and I have the honor to be speaking to you from the pulpit of the synagogue. This time of year is the Winter Solstice, and at this time I'm going to share the first of a series of 3 meditations on the Winter Solstice. And the general name for this entire series is When the Night is Frightfully Long. Tonight's portion is called When Humanity Was Young. When Humanity Was Young. One of the great discoveries of humanity when it was young was that the primal succession of seasons could be correlated with the celestial circuit of the sun. We do not know the name of the genius who connected solstice with the seasons, but we do know that even in the Stone Age, thousands of years ago, people were creating elaborate structures to mark the exact moment when the sun rose at its latest and set at its earliest. Newgrange, in the Boyne Valley, County Meath, Ireland, is a monument to the astonishing knowledge of the sun's path and a testimonial to how important our ancestors of the Neolithic era, the New Stone Age, perhaps 150 generations ago, how they understood it to be so important. A 5,000-year-old burial mound, Newgrange, was excavated in the 1960s, revealing a stone chamber that has endured without need of restoration throughout the millennia. Above the roof blocks of the main chamber, starting at the entrance to the tomb and running the length of the first passage, there is a box-like chamber, 90 centimeters high. 2 quartzite cubes were found nearby, sculpted from the rock to fit the entrance tightly and seal it or unseal it as the designers saw fit. The archaeologist who excavated the site, Professor Michael O'Kelly, sought an explanation for the particular orientation of the roof box. He theorized that it was designed to highlight the rising sun on the morning of the winter solstice. He tested his theory on the 21st of December, 1969. In his own words, I now quote Professor O'Kelly, "At exactly 9:54 a.m. British summertime, the top edge of the ball of the sun appeared above the local horizon. And at 9:58 a.m., the first pencil of direct sunlight shone through the roof box and right along the passage to reach the tomb chamber floor as far as the front edge of the basin stone in the edge chamber. As the thin line of light widened to a 17-centimeter band and swung across the chamber floor, the tomb was dramatically illuminated, and various details of the side and end chambers, as well as the corbelled roof, could be clearly seen in the light reflected from the floor. At 10:04 a.m., the 17-centimeter band of light began to narrow again, and exactly at 10:15 a.m., the direct beam was cut off from the tomb. For 17 minutes, therefore, at sunrise on the shortest day of the year, direct sunlight can enter Newgrange, not through the doorway, but through the specially contrived narrow slit which lies under the roof box at the outer edge of the passaged roof. A side note, if it seems odd to be using summertime, which we call daylight savings time, at the winter solstice, let us recall that in 1969, the British were in the midst of an experiment of using summertime throughout the year. Today, that hour would be reckoned not as 9:54, but 8:54 in the morning. We don't know just how the Newgrange faithful 5,000 years ago used this so artfully fabricated structure. Since it rested atop a tomb, we can wonder if in their minds it represented a channel between the dead and the living. But it is suggestive that they signified the winter solstice as an extraordinary time, holding a portentous meaning for their lives. It was thought of as a liminal moment, a threshold between past and future. The New Stone Age was distinguished mainly by the spread of agriculture through all the parts of the world where the climate could support it. No longer surviving by hunting and gathering, humans settled down and grew their food. All subsequent civilization rests on the foundation of that epochal revolution. For the farmer, the return of the sun means that planting time is approaching, that food can again be grown, that life can continue. The winter solstice may have been, to use the words of Winston Churchill, describing another challenge, the existential threat of the Second World War, the end of the beginning. It was the end, the winter solstice was the end of the period when the sun moved more and more to the south, leaving people in the north progressively more deprived of life-giving light and warmth. No wonder that the pagans of that era worshipped the sun. No wonder that they evolved rituals to do their part to bring it back. The winter solstice then, in their minds, was the moment of greatest crisis. From the depths of darkness, our early ancestors prayed for the return of light. It is likely that they offered sacrifices, that they marshaled the sacred vocabulary of movement and utterance, of dance and song. It was a matter of life and death, nothing less. None of this is Judaism, nor is it the modern scientific worldview. And we will explore in the next two meditations, over the next 2 weeks, how Judaism and then how the modern mindset transformed this ancient understanding of the winter solstice. But it is good to keep the ancient view in mind, because it is the baseline against which later geniuses accomplish the transformations that have made us who we are. Let me close this meditation with a prayer that at this time of darkness, God may bring light into your life and mine and illuminate us all. Amen.